Simon Told Helen wins a half length. Zach Manelli second.
Welcome to Greyhound Gossip.
Peaky Blinders start cheering for Tommy Shelby wins the WA Sprint Championship final.
Featuring Peter O'Neill.
Mozza moves up to Mermaid Manelli. Fab's Gem 3 deep. Here comes Fab's Gem.
Hard Style Rico by 5 lengths to Simon Told Helen. Third Tommy Shelby.
This segment is dedicated to the discussion and promotion of greyhound racing.
Cindy's Oliver, Rockstar Patriot, Paul Stewart, back-to-back with Rockstar Patriot in the Galaxy.
Handsome Prince, a boulder clear. The former Tasmanian Handsome Prince has won the $1 million chase.
And a very good morning, everyone, and welcome along to Greyhound Gossip. Big weekend of greyhound racing. Started off on Friday night with the winter sprint heats, and there were some outstanding results with the favourite coming up with Tab Touch with the market up after the box draw. Sunset Hornet at $2.15. Very good winner for David Hobby. So our Benson, Kody Charles, who'll join us a little bit later on tonight, this morning at least. He had a big weekend taking out the Paradise Street Trophy final. And he has box number 1 in the listed winter sprint final on Friday night at Mandurah with our Benson, currently at $4.20 with Tab Touch. What a Ripper at 10, Sunset Hornet $2.15, Kingsbury Demon $41, Bungee Man $21, Barbecue Man $4, Brain Teaser $21, a little bit twisted at $7. That's the box draw and the marker with Tab Touch for the upcoming winter sprint on Friday night. Paradise Street Trophy final on Saturday. We saw a new track record. Sage to Neil, brilliant in demolishing her rivals in the Greyhounds WA Paradise Street Trophy. It all started on Thursday, of course, here for Western Australia with a very good win by Flying Frida across in Queensland in the Chairman's Cup. And we're about to be joined by Chris Halse on Greyhound Gossip this morning. Chris, very good morning to you. Big weekend for you, and it all started off on Thursday night across in Queensland.
Yeah, no, it was a surprising result, really. No, we were at with her effort, and without a trial, we just sort of give her a walk of the track and put her in, and yeah, she went quite well, and then, hopefully push on for this week.
So that it was. When was the plans to send her across to, or the team across to Queensland?
It's sort of a bit of a spur of the moment thing. The week before, we sort of had half an idea. Then we might as well send them over there at the moment because only racing around the one track here down at Mandurah, just give them a bit of diversity, and spoke to Robert and Jeff and Tim, Robert's son up in Queensland, and worked out a bit of a game plan, and trialled Bernie on Tuesday morning, walked through to the lap of the track, so they'll both be in the getting prepared for the Queensland Cup on Thursday night.
So had Flying Frida, she hadn't trialled there before that very good win, you'd expect her to improve then?
Oh, for sure, yeah, no. She looked like she was a little bit lost, and in the straight she got going again, so hopefully she repeats the dose this week and goes straight to the front where she's hard to beat when she goes to the front.
We spoke with Robert a couple of, last year, and he mentioned that he was thinking about setting up a satellite kennel up in Queensland. Has he done that yet, or are they just travelling up there with their team?
No, Robert and Jeff bought a property up there quite a while ago and put his son Tim in there, and it's been quite a good move for him. Stake money's really good up there, and Jeff's partners from Queensland, so it was a good communal effort to all get up there, so it gives them a bit of a change. The stake money's really good, and it's just properties up there going through the roof, so that's the thinking behind it too.
So the Queensland Cup, the heats this week, the final the following, $260,000 in total, $175,000 to the winner. It is very good prize money, isn't it, as you mentioned, and the Brisbane Cup itself worth $650,000. Is it just the two of them that are up there at the moment, or were you planning on sending some more up this week?
No, just the two of them there. Then I think a couple of the younger ones might be going to Jeff for the maturity a bit later in the month, or early maybe next week. So I'm not sure. Linda and Jeff got the heads on for that one, so I'll leave that to them.
And is there any plans of yourself heading up there, you and Linda, or not?
Oh, if we get one through the final, me and Linda will go up for sure next week.
Yeah. It's exciting.
No, it's good fun. Used to do it years ago, and Luke's going back up there tonight, so you spend the rest of the week up there, come home Friday, and and we'll head up there next week. And my sister and her family have been living up there for a long time, so I catch up with them as well. I'm up there.
Beautiful. All right, well, good luck with both of them. Your team's going along okay at the moment. How are you finding the closure of Cannington and just being able to race at Mandurah and Northam?
Look, we will never go to Northam, so we're just at Mandurah for us. So, at the moment, you just got to persevere with what you got till they sort it out. So, just one of them things, isn't it? You just got to bite your teeth and get into it, and maybe travel like a bit more with a few of the dogs instead of racing them here.
Yeah,
because the track will get overused down here, trialling and racing. So it's not a good thing after a while.
No. All right. Good luck on Thursday with both West Ombooni and also Flying Free to Well on the win last week.
Thanks very much, Peter.
Good on you, Chris Halse, joining us on Greyhound Gossip. Let's continue on. We're about to be joined by Kody Charles, who's about to join us to have a look at Sage Tenniel. She might be heading to Queensland as well. But let's go back to Saturday night, and we had the running of the Paradise Street Trophy Final. And racing, jumping quickly near the inside, Penny Magic showing early speed was Chloe Ant, hunting across was 90 Mile Rose, Sage Tenniel out wider, works across also. In behind them, next of all as they go towards the back straight was Acing Coon along with Ballistic Ann. Sunset Comanche well back, last of all was Window Shopper down the back, and Sage Tenniel went bang and raced away, went clear by 4. In second place, Chloe Ant, then followed by Penny Magic, Acing Coon, Sunset Comanche, they're chasing for second. In behind them, 90 Mile Rose, but the flying track record holder Sage Tenniel in full flight. She's back tonight and she raced away. She's going to win the Paradise Street Trophy by 9 lengths. Sunset Comanche, 13 Chloe Ant, then followed by 90 Mile Rose, a gap Ballistic Ant. I might have been a little bit generous with 9 lengths, but 7 and 3/4 lengths and 36.77, a new track record. She lowered her track record from the previous week, and Kody Charles is online right now. Kody, what a win it was, and you got to see her this week.
Yeah, good morning, Peter. Thanks, mate. Thanks for having me on the show. Yeah, certainly it was great to be able to be there this week, and obviously see you get the job done in a very nice race to win. So that was really good.
It was a conversation that you and I had last week after her track record run in the heat, and I mentioned the fact of, the pressure that was on you. Well, gee whiz, the pressure's gone up a notch now because she's back to her best, and you mentioned last week how she'd been trialling so well. She had to work, didn't she, from box number 6 on that first corner to get across. So it wasn't all her own way, but she was brilliant when she exploded down the back.
Yeah, 100%. I was quite concerned with the box draw. She's never, even when she's at her best, I don't think she'd ever won for box 6 or 7. So obviously the box draw was a big concern and back to full field conditions. But the 7 seemed to miss it a little bit, and she seemed to jump a lot better. She probably was only 4th or 5th, but she was sort of right up there on the pace, and it was just a matter of getting a little bit of luck through that first turn. But, when she come past me, obviously I didn't handle. I let Sue handle because she did it the week before. But when she come past that first sort of turn and she was so close to him, I just prayed that she'd get around that first turn, and then thought, she's going to be right in it sort of thing. So I was, obviously then pretty confident going down the back straight when she really let go. And I think that's where her sort of she can show some real pace down the back straight and open them up and try and get away from them. But it was good to see that her run home time was a lot better the other day. So she really improved on that. So that was nice to see as well. And to break her own track record and go that little bit quicker was extremely pleasing. And it was also good that you had Brittany there with you to be able to enjoy that. The fact that you didn't have to handle, you could sort of sit back and just take the accolades. And the 2 youngest children as well, they really enjoy seeing her and giving her some love after the race. Yeah, it was good that Brittany could get there the other night, and obviously, Eden and Sage were there. They were lucky enough to get to Melbourne with us, so they might be part of the good luck charm when they come along. So unfortunately, Kody had basketball and missed out once again, but it was a good presentation and good to have the family there with me. I know this greyhound was named after Sage, but there's obviously a bond between the two of them. I thought she was going to strangle her the other night when she hugged her. Yeah, no, that's right. She was hugging her and having a sleep on her back. But when the kids come in, they certainly know the dog that makes the money in the kennel. They come in and straight away they're looking for Lulu and they know where she is and that. So she's a nice dog to the kids, and they certainly got a good connection, that's for sure. I mentioned Chris Halse. He decided to go across to Queensland with West Ombooni and also Flying Frida, and we saw her win there the other night at Albion Park. And Uncle Tommy, a couple of weeks prior to that, there's such good prize money on offer. I know you were over there earlier on, and you tried her over the 600 metres and didn't have a lot of luck. Now that she's put 2 wins together, are there any thoughts of going back to Queensland? Yeah, so I did have a plan when I went there the first time, maybe go over there. I was tossing up that time there was a 600-metre race on and there was a 700-metre race on, and I elected to go the 600. I think that was the wrong decision. She was coming off, obviously, a 29.36 Cannington trial, and it was sort of a late decision that we'll go, and I decided just to go the 600. But corner start, when you got an average beginner, and the way she was sort of racing was probably a bad call on my behalf. I thought if she goes okay, I'd give her a 700 over there so she could see the start and all the rest of it. And obviously had the Winter Cup, which is this Thursday, in the back of my mind, but she obviously went below par, so we just decided to get her straight back home and target up the Paradise Street, which has been successful. And yeah, I've just completed booking flights this morning, and we'll fly out tomorrow morning with Sage, and we'll go in the Winter Cup 700-metre heats at Albion Park on Thursday.
Okay, so the Queensland Cup, the Group 1 series?
Yes, the Group 1, yeah. I think it's, yeah. Yep.
Queensland Cup, yep, over 710 metres. So,
Queensland.
yeah, is that her racing now, that she'll be always racing over the longer distances? And if that is the case, are the plans to try and represent Western Australia again in the Nationals?
Yeah, absolutely. That's my plan at the moment. So I think she's only had maybe 3 or 4 runs over 700. She's yet to win over it. But her Northern run was really pleasing, even though she got run down late. I think she's had a nice stepping stone with the sort of the 600 Albion Park, which will refresh her memory of that track. And then she's had the 2 652s here. It's quite a hard run at Mandurah. So I think Albion Park 710, which is a little bit shorter than the Northern run. So, yeah, no, I think she's ready to go. So while she's going good, they're a long time retired, aren't they, Pete? So we'll just we'll give it a crack and see how we go, hopefully for an inside box. And I think there'll be a full field day. They had pretty good, strong nominations for it, as expected. You're going to cop the best, Palawa King and Valpolicella and dogs like that. So she certainly needs to be at her best, but I think we've got her at her best she's been in the last 6 to 8 months.
Well done. All right, we're looking forward to that. Now, do you fly up with her, or will you put her on a plane and she'll be collected on the other end?
I'm going to fly with her, yeah. For the 600 was sort of last indecision, and I put her on a plane. But she is a very sort of, she's a little bit of a timid dog, and she did go below par. So hopefully I'll go with her, and she hopes she can feel a bit more comfortable. We'll stay at Rob Essex's place where we've stayed each time, so she's familiar with the place. So yeah, no, we'll be on the plane with her.
Okay, and you've also could have a big week because you've come up with box number 1 with our Benson in the Winter Sprint Final on Friday night. You must be really happy with that.
Yeah, no, definitely. If I could choose any box, certainly box 1 would be the one that we want. I did feel he was probably below his best on Friday, and I'm probably putting that down to he's had a couple of runs over the 488 and the 509. I reckon the edge just might have been taken off him slightly. So we're sort of just going to freshen him right up this week and hope that we can come out running and hopefully give him something to chase. Obviously a good field, but he's a pretty smart dog, and at his best he can get down to those low 22s. So he's definitely right up there amongst them as a great chance.
Good on you, mate. Good luck with Sage to Neil. Well done. Track record run there on Saturday night, winning the Paradise Street Trophy. You've got another feature here in WA, and there's some big money on offer in Queensland. Go get them.
Thanks very much, mate. Appreciate your support as always.
Good on you. Kody Charles joining us, and good luck to the WA contingent who are heading up to Queensland this week. And the carnival really warms up with the $1 million final coming up the following week of the Brisbane Cup, and of course the Queensland Cup, $262,000 on offer next Thursday night as well. David Shortte's about to join us on Greyhound Gossip on this Monday morning, and we're getting Shortte on because not only is he a genius, but also the fact that he was on the panel to vote on the top 8 WA sprinters and stayers, and also the number 1 overall. Not that we'll ask him to give us any inside information from that meeting, but just to ask him his thoughts on the 50 years as we celebrate this year of WA Greyhound racing, and the great man joins us online. Shortte, good morning.
G'day, Pete. Nice to be with you. And, looking forward to our chat today. Tremendous to hear Chris and Kody as well. And it's exciting for WA Greyhound Racing to have some of our stars heading across to the East Coast for some big races upcoming.
It certainly is. And just before we get on to that, we saw Shane Williams win a maiden yesterday with a greyhound by the name of Simple Sally. And while that might not mean a lot to a lot of people, the owners are interesting. Grant and Alana Williams changing codes.
Yeah, absolutely. The trainee's got plenty of horses with Grant and Alana, and they're taking a very keen interest in the training performances himself with a couple of greyhounds. And I know that Puffer was on track there yesterday to witness the win as well. So, Pete, you know that I'm a lover of all three codes, and I'm absolutely delighted to see it when different people from racing and harness racing and greyhound racing all get behind each other and get involved in either horses or greyhounds. It's a great getaway from the day-to-day grind. They can often really relate to each other, the pressures that go with being involved in big stables and kennels and the like. And I'm sure that Grant and Alana will have a lot of fun with the Shane train and vice versa. I think they're both got pretty decent winning hit rates for each other. So it's working all right. They're lucky owners as well as being very good trainers in their own right.
They certainly are. Now, greyhound racing started at Mandurah, one of your favourite tracks, in January 1979. Nicky Ninny won for John Carmody, and of course greyhound racing at Cannington starting 50 years ago back in December. We'll be celebrating it all the way through this year. And I just wanted to get you on this morning to talk about some of your memories. When was the first time that you stepped onto a greyhound track or started following greyhound racing?
Pete, it would be around about late 80s was when I started to take a bit of an interest. Dad's great mate was a man by the name of Rod Starkey, who was a horse dentist, and he trained a few paces, and his father, Gil Starkey, likewise there in White Gum Valley, had horses and both thoroughbreds and also paces, and Dad used to help him out with the horses. I went to the races and the trots long before I went to a greyhound track, but of course Rod's son Dean got involved in the sport of greyhound racing. His first ever greyhound was a greyhound by the name of George Steele, who was named after the wrestler George the Animal Steele. He purchased it for $500 from Dave Simonetti many, many years ago. I'd never really seen much of greyhounds other than the great Jimmy Chadwick's Sunday morning segment that he used to have on Channel 7. It used to come on just before the cartoon. So I sort of saw that as a little fella and was quite taken by that. But what happened from there was Dean came home with this beautiful greyhound, George Steele, and I fell in love instantly. Not long after we went to watch George race, that would have been, I think, in the late 80s, Pete. And from that point onwards, we became regulars. Dad ended up in a bunch of dogs with Dean, and we would head down to Mandurah nearly every Friday night for probably some 6, 7, 8 years after that. It was a real family outing. We used to go down there pretty much every Friday night, and the odd visit to Cannington. And then when I got to my teenage years, I'd be out there punting at Cannington on a Wednesday and Saturday night, and got a job there working, obviously running the Punters Club, and it's sort of the rest is history. But it goes back a fair way, Pete, but I wouldn't have it any other way. It's been an absolute pleasure to go out there and watch some of the best in the business.
Now, I know this, I'm going to give a replay of when you and I started on Greyhound Gossip. 1997 we started, so some almost 30 years ago, Shorty. We're getting a little bit long in the tooth, and we didn't have to wait long, and there were some outstanding chasers like Prince of Tigers back then, and a young WA Greyhound on the rise by the name of Reggie Might, and we were lucky to see the Nationals, which we love going to every year. We saw the Nationals in Perth at Cannington in 1998. I want you to have a listen to this in this field. It was outstanding, full of class.
The National Championship of Australia, they're ready, racing. Reggie Might, head bump with Hot Shot out of the start. Els Queen goes straight to the front. Faithful Hawk up on the inside. Hot Shot now got between them. Over on the fence, Bueller Boy out wide of myself. Moved forward. Reggie Might's in trouble. Cam run outside of it, and then Rapid Journey well back. Off the back, and Faithful Hawk, the Queenslander, out by 2. Hot Shot got to second, running on Bueller Boy. Then came Els Queen, followed by Rapid Journey getting through from Reggie Might as Faithful Hawk in front. Coming after it, Rapid Journey. It's sprinting home brilliantly. Rapid Journey had hit the front, and Rapid Journey won the national sprint. Second, Bueller Boy. Third, Faithful Hawk, and I think Reggie Might fourth. They were followed up by...
Was he one of the best that you ever saw on a WA track, even though he wasn't a WA Greyhound in Rapid Journey?
It's still to this day the biggest run I've ever seen in a big feature final here in WA, Pete. But go back and watch that replay. Get it up on YouTube if you're listening and haven't seen that race and you love your greyhound racing. Rapid Journey drew box 6. At the start of this race, the dog in box 5 wanted to get straight up the track. The dog in box 7 wanted to get straight down to the fence. Rapid Journey was the ham in the sandwich, was absolutely poleaxe, both sides. Then in the run to the first corner, it was sitting sort of 7th. The dog in front of it wanted to get off, so I copped another clip. So it was back to last, effectively, with a third of the race done and dusted, and then it railed down the back, got past 3 or 4 of the runners. Turning for home, it went between runners. It took a gap, and then in the concluding stages, there were high-quality dogs in front of it. The likes of Bula Boy and Hot Shot, Faithful Hawk, they're all outstanding dogs from the East Coast at the time. A rapid journey the last 30 or 40 metres, as he did so often throughout the course of his career. Just picked up late. He had a wonderful will to win this dog, and for Jane Carruthers, it was the most special win I've ever seen by a sprinter. Still to this day here in WA, a phenomenal performance.
We saw some great stayers as well over the years, Shorty. Do you have one that's a fond memory for you?
Oh, no doubt, Pete. And look, I may be a little biased because obviously you're a great friend of mine, and the call will live with me forever. But one of the few things that really did take my interest and spiked my excitement levels early on in greyhound racing with a get-back run on stayers. There was a dog over in Sydney at the time called Dave's Cruiser, and he used to drop out. He'd be 20 lengths behind the second-last dog and charge home and steam home all over the top. Dogs like Texas Gold used to do the same, and we were very fortunate here in WA to have a greyhound by the name of Electra that Keith Harding got his hands on, and this Galaxy win will remain one of the biggest performances ever seen at Cannington.
And racing, jumping quickly, Chinatown Lad from the outside, also showing speed. Gonna Do Magic can't go with the Tasmanian early, and Chinatown Lad scooted away by 2 lengths on Gonna Do Magic. Ready to Star was third, then followed by Fancy Penny. Daphne Mavis on the outside, Speedy Lino well back, Electra and Taser past the judge, and Chinatown Lad is the leader out by 3. Gonna Do Magic trying to stick with it. 2 away was Ready to Star, then followed by Fancy Penny, well back Daphne Mavis. Electra now starting to warm up. Speedy Lino last of all, Taser off the back. Chinatown Lad, the Tasmanian, he's only 2 lengths in front of the Victorian. Gonna Do Magic, who's coming at him. Gonna Do Magic rails underneath the Chinatown Lad. Gonna Do Magic hits the lead down the outside. Electra's flooding home. Electra over the top has got up. Electra, the WA star, has won. Electra has beaten Gonna Do Magic right on the line. Chinatown Lad is third, then followed by either Fancy Penny or Ready to Star. They said you couldn't do it, Keith, and you've done it. 41.47 the time. Behind them was Speedy Lino and Taser at the rear of the field.
Well, she was special, wasn't she, Electra? And Keith Harding, he was a master as well.
Oh, he certainly was, Pete. And she sort of arrived here as a last sort of ping at the stumps. And we just know the Hall of Famer Keith Harding, he was a remarkable man with a greyhound. He had all the tricks. And he could get average greyhounds to go well. So when he had Electra come across here, he rolled the dice. Nobody sort of knew what he would get out of Electra when she first arrived, but she produced some splendid performances throughout the course of her time here in WA, and that was her hallmark, getting back in positions where if you were with someone that didn't know who she was, you'd say, yep, keep an eye out on that dog that's sitting last at the moment. I'm pretty confident it will win from here, and they'd look at you and say, cut it out, it's got no chance. And so often she came from those just impossible positions to charge home all over the top. And it must be said that was a high-quality Galaxy field as well, Pete. We'd seen that Tasmanian Chinatown Lad, from memory, take out the interstate challenge that we used to have here in WA. They had really plunged it going back to that particular year. It was a real high-quality stayer at the time, and Gonna Do Magic likewise. So it was no mean feat for Electra to pick up 2 very, very talented East Coast stayers that were here in town. But that will long live as one of my all-time favourite wins there at Cannington.
All right, I'm going to get you back on another day, Shorty, because we've got lots to talk about from 96, 97 when we started working together, and some of the great greyhounds that we've been able to see. So I'll do that. Tim Walker's about to get into often pacing, but just one final, leave us with one final. What was your best punting moment on the greyhound track here in WA?
Oh, well, there's a couple of pretty useful ones across the duration, Pete, but I have to say it's actually relatively recent. I did land the Perth Cup Galaxy double a couple of years ago with Vice Grip and Mambo Magic at 250 to 1 when early markets opened up. That's one of the better results I've had with some early futures betting. And going back sort of quite a few years ago before that, Sun Hero and Best Quoted, I think it was, they both won Perth Cup Galaxy, and I think that was a year I got something like 150 to 1 the double that year. So I've had a little bit of luck over the years with the Perth Cup Galaxy double, and they're 2 years I remember very fondly.
Good on you, mate. We'll talk again soon. Have a good week.
Cheers, Pete. Good luck, punters.
You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelpline.org.au.